Hi and welcome to this week at Ask Total Health. This week we're going to talk about how you can manage any kind of back tension or any kind of back pain that you may be kind of living with or you may get from time to time. Now, a lot of people will get back pain just through general kind of wear and tear. Also, if you're having to sit for a long period of time throughout the day, and then suddenly you have to then get up, or you are then going to get up and exercise and move. Certain muscles can tighten up, you can lose your posture a little bit, and that can put extra stress on the back. And just sitting and not moving generally is going to cause a fair bit of back pain or back tension. So there's different things that we want to look at. Now, it really does depend on the specifics of how your back pain occurred. Obviously, it could have been a traumatic kind of accident or something, so there's different specifics there. And there's also what the issue is. Is it a disc problem, is it a muscular problem, is it neuro problems? So there are lots of different things. So I'm going to give you a general kind of overview there. If you are just living with general kind of back tension, back pain, you feel that bothers you on a regular basis, I'm going to give you a few tips here just on how you can manage and ease that pain. It is advisable, if you do live with back pain on a regular basis and it is quite painful, to see a specialist. Go and see a physio or a good trainer that knows something about rehabilitation and injury, a chiropractor, osteopath, obviously the best quality around your area. So that's the first most important thing, is seek specialist advice if you feel it is really bad. But if you just feel it just kind of gets tense from time to time, there's a little bit of stiffness and tension, and even if you are going to see someone, it's also very important that you're managing it yourself and you understand where your back pain comes from and you understand how to reduce that tension. So that takes us to our first point. You've got to take ownership, you've got to take responsibility for your own body. It's anything to do with your health, whether it's your diet, whether it's your training or injuries and pain. You have to take ownership of it. So great, go and see the specialist, the physio, the trainer, the chiropractor, whatever, but you'll only be seeing them once or twice a week at most. What happens the rest of the time? Are you aware of when you slip into bad posture? Are you aware of when you put your body under too much load? Are you aware of when that pain starts to build up? Because that is what is going to help manage it. That's what's going to help reduce that pain straight away. So first of all, you've got to take responsibility for your own body and for managing your pain. Secondly, you have to move regular. Now, I know it's difficult if you have a sedentary job and you have to kind of work at a computer, or you're kind of studying quite a lot, or you're just sitting down for a long period of time. But if you've got back pain, then it's only going to be really bad by the end of the day if you've not got up and you've not moved around. I'm not saying you always have to get up and exercise before or kind of middle of the day, but you just have to get up and move. Even if you've just had an email in, or you're putting together a document, presentation, whatever it is, and you've just got a little bit of thinking time, just even stand up and think. So just walk around a little bit, just kind of move around as you're thinking. Sometimes actually that can just help stimulate a little bit of kind of mental clarity, mental engagement, so it's not a bad thing for that, but then just loosen the back off. If you're doing that regular throughout the day, it all adds up. It really does all add up. It doesn't seem like you're doing much at the time, but it just prevents your posture from breaking down and things going into kind of slightly tighter, more kind of tense positions. So move regularly throughout the day. Excuse me. Third thing is, most injuries, most tension will come due to a decrease in the posture. So if your posture starts to kind of worsen a little bit, then there's all sorts of kind of pulls, especially through the neck and back. That's where we will get most tension through bad posture. So really think about your posture and alignment. Again, it's very difficult if you're seated, or anything that's kind of pulling you forward is going to pull you out of kind of natural good alignment. So you just have to think about that from time to time. You just have to think about, if you are seated, have you got your desk all kind of sorted? Are you as upright as possible, as lengthened through the spine as possible, and nice shoulder kind of relaxed position. You're not basically in this hunched forward position. You're not twisted. You're not having to use the mouse over here. You have to realign yourself so you're as square on and as lengthened as possible. that in combination with getting up, moving more regular, and becoming aware of things, of when your tension's building up, that on its own is really going to just reduce things massively and stop pain from kind of building up to the same levels as it could. So really look at improving your posture, and by that really thinking about your alignment and keeping the body as lengthened through the front as possible, as open as possible. Now, to improve your posture and to help manage back pain and for general health, you will want to improve your strength and you'll want to improve your flexibility. Now, the key thing is, and this is where the specialists and experts will really help, is analyse and assess where you're tight. That's areas you want to stretch off. For instance, a lot of the time people get really tight through hip flexors because they're short all day from sitting down. So they shorten. So lengthening out the hip flexors will most likely help in most cases. Again, most of us get really tight through the chest and shoulders because we're rounded all day. So lengthening out through the chest and shoulders is going to help relieve that pressure off the back. So again, that's just a generalisation. You have to figure out what areas you're tight, or again speak to a specialist about that to figure that out. So once you've started to kind of figure out those areas, then probably the opposing areas will need strengthened. For instance, if we're seated all day and our hip flexors have tightened up too much, probably the back side is just switching off a little bit. So doing lots of work to contract the glutes, get the lower stomach engaged as well, is just going to help adjust the pelvis into the correct position, support your back a little bit more. If you're really tight through chest and shoulders, strengthen through the upper back and back of the shoulders to pull you back into kind of this upright open position is probably going to help. So again, it's getting flexible in the correct areas and strong in the correct areas, and that's going to help your posture and alignment. And the final tip, just to manage things, is building some relaxation to your day. It could be complete stillness, meditation. It could be a little bit of very light movement like Qigong, Tai Chi, breathing exercises. It can be a little bit of light yoga. It's something that helps you relax and wind down. Now, obviously, that is, you relax mentally, it's going to help you relax physically, and vice versa. If you're doing something that's going to help you physically relax, it's going to help you relax mentally. So, as well as relaxing the muscles and taking the pressure off the body, it will just wind down the nervous system a little bit, where all our kind of pain signals come from. So some kind of relaxation work is just going to help just make us less sensitive to movement and tension as well, and just help relax, and that will give the body more freedom. Because if your nervous system is kind of ramped up and fired up all the time, when you go to move, it sends these kind of warning signals, and that's tense as well. And also your nerves that run through the body become tense and become hypersensitive. So it's really, really important that you're adding some relaxation in. And 9 times out of 10, if you have a high pressure job, or if you're on the go quite a lot and you're having to work really, really hard, just by adding the relaxation, it's just going to really, it's just probably going to nip everything in the bud and just prevent all these problems happening. So just to recap, we want to take responsibility for our own body and managing our own body. You want to move regular, you want to improve your posture, you want to strengthen the areas that need strengthened, and get the areas that need opened up a little bit more flexible and mobile, and you want to add in some relaxation. Increase those those aspects into your and input those aspects into your day on a regular basis, and it's really going to make a massive difference in managing pain and just overall posture and health. So please go off. Be cautious when you are moving about. Don't do anything too extreme. You want to make sure you're not going into any movements that are going to kind of take it out with its comfort zone. So do be cautious when you move, but get moving and get including the other aspects. And I'll see you next week.